6 quirks work in the dirt, while 8 mates hate while they wait. So why not take the bait before it disintegrates? Eventually the message is cross-referenced with information, as long as people try to make a difference without inspiration. 1 or 2 hours a day will get you 50 if you're shifty. 3 or 4 will get you more before you stop. Inhale and meditate. Exhale and levitate. It's all burnt out now, so you're in need of more substance. Food for the soul, rest for the mind, filling the void with the ashes of time. It's a short poem. Poetry's art, isn't it? I like to think so. It's like a pure window into somebody's mind. It's kind of like just pure expression. But I mean, it doesn't have to be analyzed as like pure expression, but it could be. So I went to university the other day to, not to study, to get some food, because they got cheap meals for the university students. And I sat next to this guy who I was like, you know, he looks nice enough. No, I didn't judge him or anything. I just sat next to him, and I asked him if he studied at the university, and he said, yeah, I do. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like, I don't really, believe too much in the university and the institution. And he's like, yeah, more and more people these days are, finding that, they don't have to go to the university to, to be what they want to be, all the information's out there, but then he kind of went into like how, there's no way of accrediting people's knowledge if they're not in an institution. I'm like, well, why do you have to accredit somebody's knowledge? Isn't the knowledge just credit enough? Anyway, later his teacher came and sat there, and we were kind of debating a little bit, or they were talking, and I was just kind of listening to what, they were talking about, modern art and postmodern art, and, the way things are going, and they just seem to have a very like strict structure as to how they analyze and grade or qualify art, and it didn't seem right to me. I didn't say much, but they were like, their basic kind of theme was that like for something to be art, there has to be stuff that isn't art. And so, what is art, for example, every year there's like an art community or something, and they put stuff that is art in the art cup. And then what isn't art, they'll take it out of the cup, or, they won't put it in the cup in the first place. And that seems wrong to me. That seems like maybe there's, instead of like having art and not art, it could be more of like, you can just analyze anything in an artistic way, or for artistic features, aesthetically or functionally, or like why can't everything just be graded artistically? And the example they use is like that sign over there that says no smoking, that's not art. And I said, what about the guy who put up the sign? It's perfectly level, it's in a visible place, it's got its purpose, and that's an artistic kind of way of doing things, to find the purpose and, let it shine at its best. I don't know. I eventually just kind of like, let them talk and tried to like push in my ideas, but they kind of like laughed off, like a sign cannot be art. And I don't know. I guess I'm just talking to myself, trying to like figure out what I actually think. Because for me, you can pretty much judge anything as art. You could judge, somebody's way of talking as an art, or how, just depending on like your own definition of good or bad. Like obviously it's an infinite way of judging or qualifying something, because it just depends what the artist was trying to do and what the critic is looking for. But no, I think everyone has the potential to be an artist, and their way of doing things is their art. Maybe I'm alone on that, but I don't think so. I think everyone's an artist in their own way. It's not all about painting and drawing and finding an artistic angle. There's great art in architecture, or there's great art in cooking, and even in cleaning, or in gardening, or there's art in everything. It's just a way of doing things. You can do it commercially, or you can do it artistically, or you can, and also doing things commercially, you could be doing it artistically for a commercial purpose. It's infinite. Why would somebody say that it has to be in a cup for it to be considered art? I mean, for me, that's just like eliminating or closing yourself into a box, and like limiting your perspective. Maybe it's I've gone down the rabbit hole far enough to try to like figure out what I'm trying to say, but art is everywhere. If it's not you or me who painted or created the art, it was God himself who, with one brush stroke painted a forest. And like, art is everywhere. You just have to focus or tune in to that specific frequency and perspective. Anyway, thanks for listening.